Hello, and welcome to our May Messy Church. I'm down here in the study because they're doing some work upstairs in the loft. And we're going to continue on with looking at important children in the Bible. And today we're going to take a look at one young lad who was very important to Jesus and his disciples when they ran into a spot of trouble. Have you ever been out with mom or dad or with your friends, and suddenly, you feel your stomach rumbling, you're getting a little bit hungry, and you look around, there's really no place to go and get food, but you say, I am hungry. I just need something to chew on. Even something small would be nice to have. And mom reaches into her purse and she finds the granola bar that she had in there, and she breaks off a piece for you and maybe breaks off a piece for your brother or your sister because they're probably hungry too if you are. Or dad reaches into his pocket and finds a couple of sticks of gum that you can chew on that'll help stave off the hunger. It's nice when that happens. And that's sort of what happens with Jesus and his disciples. They are out in what is described as a lonely place, and they're surrounded by lots of their friends, people who have come to hear Jesus speak, perhaps see him perform a healing miracle, and it's getting late, and Jesus knows they're getting hungry, and that's when they realize, or at least the disciples think, they have a problem. But Jesus knows what's going to happen. He knows what he's going to do. And this story is found in John's Gospel, chapter 6, but it's found in all of the Gospels, the feeding of the 5,000. But it's only in John's Gospel that we hear about a young boy. After this, Jesus went across Lake Galilee, or Lake Tiberias, as it was also known. A large crowd followed him because they had seen his miracles of healing those who were ill. Jesus went up a hill and sat down with his disciples. The time for the Passover festival was near, and Jesus looked around and saw a large crowd was coming to him. So he asked Philip, "Where can we buy enough food to feed all these people?" He said this to test Philip. Actually, he already knew what he would do. Philip answered, "Well, for everyone to have even a little, it would take more than 200 silver coins to buy enough bread." Another of his disciples, Andrew, who was Simon Peter's brother, said, "There is a boy here who has 5 loaves of barley bread and 2 fish. But they will certainly not be enough for all these people." "Make the people sit down," Jesus told them. There was a lot of grass there, so all the people sat down, and there were about 5,000. Jesus took the bread, gave thanks to God, and distributed it to the people who were sitting there. He did the same with the fish, and they all had as much as they wanted. When they were all full, he said to his disciples, "Gather up the pieces left over. Let us not waste any." So they gathered them all up and filled 12 baskets with the pieces left over from the 5 barley loaves, which the people had eaten. All possible because of Jesus, but also because a young boy decided that he could share his little lunch. And with that, Jesus was able to feed 5,000 people. And even when they had eaten everything, there was 12 baskets worth of bread left over. What a miracle. Now, of course, there's a lot of lessons here. I like the fact that Jesus says, gather up all the scraps. Let us not waste anything. I bet your mom and dad tell you to eat everything on your plate. Don't waste food. 1, it's very expensive these days. And 2, there are people who go hungry, and it's kind of an insult in a way just to throw away food. But I think the main point here is that it's good to share. And when we share, good things can happen, particularly when we share our gifts and what we have with Jesus. Maybe it's not just food we can share. We could share a kind word. Say to somebody, "Oh, that's a nice shirt. I like that shirt. That's a good-looking shirt." Or, "Oh, I like what you did with your hair today. That's very pretty." Or, that was a great shot you made in the basketball game, or you hit that ball really well in the schoolyard. Maybe you can simply share a smile, make somebody else feel better. Or you can share food, and what you will find in the kits is just a little paper bag. You can decorate it and then just check with mom or dad. Maybe you have some food up in the cupboard, a tin of tuna or a jar of peanut butter you haven't used yet, and you could put it in the bag and bring it to the church. Or, every store I go into, all the grocery stores, have some sort of a collection box or barrel, and then that food goes to the food bank and it's given out to people who do not have enough to eat. Because it's good to share. And when we share, I think we make Jesus very, very happy. Okay? So that's the story of a boy. We don't know his name. Perhaps he was had your name. Who knows? And sharing his lunch, which made a miracle possible. Now, for a game, there are a couple of things you can do if you like, or activities. One, they're all out there sitting on the grass. It must have been a very lovely spot. Now that the weather is getting kind of nice, maybe a nice thing to do with your family would be to go and have a picnic, even if it's just in your backyard, to get outside in the sun and the fresh air. Some mayflies, but pure protein. They're good to eat too. And just have a nice time together, particularly as this is Mother's Day weekend. In one of the stories of this miracle, Jesus has his disciples get the people to sit down in groups of 50. I think he probably did that so that nobody would be missed out on receiving some food. It was a quick way to organize the people. So you could take something you have a lot of. I have a thing here of jingle bells. You could use maybe little pieces of Lego or raisins, and then I thought, oh, Cheerios would work great, because probably you all have Cheerios in one form or another at home, and just everyone get a little handful of Cheerios. And then someone says, form them in groups of 2. And so you get your Cheerios and you put them in little groups of 2, and the person who does it first wins. Then you say, oh, put them in groups of 5, and you do the same thing, but now in groups of 5. And again, the person who gets it first, sort of wins the game. And you go around till everyone's had a chance to win. It's also a great counting game for your younger brothers and sisters to do. Another game, memory game, is, I'll try and make sure this is in the shot. You need a big bowl or pot or basket. You need a towel or something to cover it. And then you can either use toy food or perhaps even real food. And what you're going to do is it's sort of building a picnic basket that you take out to enjoy. And you say the first person takes a sample of food. There's a strawberry. My picnic basket has a strawberry. And it goes. the next person picks up something else. My picnic basket has, what did we put in? A strawberry and a chicken leg. My picnic basket, the next person with their food item says, has a strawberry, a chicken leg, and a banana. My picnic basket has a strawberry. Wait, I know there's a chicken leg and a banana, and now it has some grapes. My picnic basket has strawberry, chicken leg, grapes, and a banana. And now it has an orange. And on you go until someone breaks the chain and they can't remember everything that was in there. That's why you got it covered up. No peeking. Okay? And have some fun with that. You can, again, toy food or which you can get lots of this stuff at dollar stores, which is where I get most of my messy church things. So there's another game. So there's the memory game with the food. There's the counting game with any small items like Cheerios or Legos or little bells, whatever you have lying around the house. Or simply just get outside and maybe sometime this weekend or when the weather's really nice, have yourself a picnic. So the craft, and I haven't, what I should have done, I should have done one to show you what it looks like when it's all over. But you're going to make little baskets. Okay? And what you do is you take a paper plate and you carefully, maybe mom or dad or grandma, grandpa, or somebody can help you do this. You carefully cut it in half. So it can go like this. Now it looks like a piece of pita bread. Now, before you put it together, you can, well, that's why it didn't work. I cut through two. Oh, my goodness. Thought that was kind of hard. You can do two things. You can, before you say you glue it all together, you should decorate it. So you can do it one of two ways. You can, as I've started on this one, I just sort of drew on it. So it looks like it has a bit of basket weaving. And I could draw some more there. I can just draw whatever I like on it. Whatever you like on it, you could do that. Others, perhaps the older ones, you might like to try a bit of weaving. So what you do is you take half and you just cut some straight lines into it. Now some people, they like to cut, they don't go all the way. And then you got to weave through it. I find for myself a little hard. That's why I'm cutting straight through. And when I'm done, I will glue the top together so it doesn't look like it's falling apart. Okay, so can you see what I've done? And then you take a strip of construction paper and you just start to weave it through. Maybe you start underneath the first one, over the second, which means underneath the next one, over the one after that. I suspect you've done something like this at school by now. And then you just sort of pull it through, and I'm going to push mine down a little bit there. And then I'm taking, eventually I'm taking another one. I chose a different color. Just by chance, the two colors I picked of construction paper are purple and yellow, kind of Eastery. So the next one starts on top and it goes underneath the next one, and over top of the next one, and underneath the next one, and over top of the next one. And I'm going to push it down a little bit. There. All right. Well, this one should go over here. There. And this one should go over here, underneath. Okay. That looks better. And we'll take one more, take another purple one, get it all nice and even. And I just do it all over again. Underneath, over, whoops. Underneath, oh, yeah, no, over. And then underneath. Ah, missed one. Isn't it nice to see someone with 2 university degrees struggle with basket weaving? There. That looks better. Oops, I lost my yellow one. What can I tell you? In university, I only took one basket weaving course. That was archaeology. I'm just looking at pictures all day. There we go. And then I can just, so you can see what I've done. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take some scissors and carefully trim these a little bit so they fit a little better. Then I can take my glue stick, carefully dab the end and stick it down. It doesn't slide out again on me. There. Then I take the other side, there it is. Now you can glue it together. I could cheat. I'm going to staple mine. Maybe should let the glue dry first. There you go. Okay. Now, if you want, you can take a pipe cleaner and fix it so that it runs on the top. Keep it nice and neat, but I'm not going to worry about that. I'm going to stick one end in here. And this is where you might like to use a stapler. Make sure it stays. And then stick the other end in. Oops. Stapled in there, see? Good to go. But what's a picnic basket without something put in it? So we're going to make some things to put in our picnic basket. Now, remember the story. There were 5 barley loaves, 2 fish. So I've already made 1 fish. You can see my little fish here. He can go in the basket. And I'm going to take another piece of paper. I already started this guy, and I thought, oh, I should do this so I can show you. I'm just cutting him out. It's a pink fish, I guess. It'll be a girl fish, this one. And of course, I'll take some markers. Oops. And maybe she's not feeling well. She's a little green around the gills. That's a joke. Trust me, the fish is fine. Gave her a little fin. Some little thingamajigs down on her tail. Maybe for fun, I'll give her 2 fins on the same side. It's your fish. You decorate your fish the way you like. Ooh, I know what I'll do. I will that, and I will give her some teeth. There. It's like a little shark. So there you go. So I got my 2 fish. And then I take some brown construction paper. Great thing about the loaves of bread back then is they were probably pretty round or oval shaped, so they're pretty easy to cut out. The fact that if he had 5 barley loaves tells me that he probably more likely had 5 barley buns. Walking around with 5 loaves of big bread, not all that practical. So there, see, I just cut it a sort of an oval shape piece of brown paper, and I put some little singe marks in there to show where the bread has risen. And there you go. You can put your 5 barley loaves into your thing, and you can hang this on your fridge, or you can hang it on a doorknob in your room, and just to remember, maybe you even write on it. As I'm going to do, sharing is what? What is sharing? Now, Max, I know you were a Beaver, so you know sharing. I think you're in Cubs now. Sharing is good. So there you go. And that's, oops, I got a hole in my basket. Not anymore. And that's the story of a young boy who shared his lunch and helped Jesus do a miracle. Okay? Do hope you're taking care of yourselves and that all is well. And we hope to see you real soon. If you're seeing this on the weekend of its publication, happy Mother's Day. If you're watching this after the fact of Mother's Day, well, happy Mother's Day anyways. Be sure to be good to your mums, your grandmas, and all the lovely women in your lives who are helping you one way or another. Teachers, Sunday school teachers, nurses, doctors, whomever. Okay? You guys take care and God bless. I gotta shut this from a distance.